Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mel and Wally Show. I'm Mel.
Bonjour, I'm Wally.
On this podcast, we talk about whatever the hell we want.
Because we can. Please enjoy, subscribe, like, and follow. Do all the things. Bonjour.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Mel and Wally Show.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Wally. This episode, we wanted to talk about our favorite shows that we've done with Mortar and Pestle.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I am too. We've only been a company for 4 years now?
4 years.
4 years?
Wally, 4 years.
I wasn't part of the first show, so I don't know.
It doesn't matter. You're involved with the company. You should know how old it is.
But yeah, so we obviously, that means we haven't done 1,000 shows, but the stuff we've done has been really, really cool and fun to be a part of, so I think it's going to be a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
So your first show ever was Blythe Spirit.
Yes.
Why did you go with that one, and why, how did you decide to have that be your, inaugural show?
I really just thought that it would be an interesting show to do. It was very popular, so getting a popular,
first show,
well-known show, it's a great introduction for any company, I think. It costs more.
Right.
But, yeah, I just went for it, and it turned out to be a lot of fun, obviously, because it's, such a fun show to do. Very challenging. The pacing on that thing is just,
especially with there's ghosts and stuff involved.
Yes. And the people can't see the ghosts, and so it's just, there's a limit of who can actually interact,
right.
Which causes some kind of complication with.
It sounds like a fun job, though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but yes, it can be one of the challenges for the actors on stage. Is just if you're not able to hear or see the ghost, you can't react to anything that they're doing, and if they're having a problem with their lines on stage, you're not necessarily in a position where you can cover for them.
Oh, gosh.
So it was that was a little bit of a challenge to get over, but everything worked out so well. I was very, very pleased with that. And there was a quick change in there. We had such a great team. One of our actors, Riley, she needed to do a quick change from, spoiler alert everybody, if you haven't seen Blythe Spirit, she had to do a quick change from being a living person
to death, to a ghost,
to a ghost,
right,
in about 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And for anyone out there who doesn't know what that entails for this show, the ghosts were gray. So she needed to take off all of her makeup. She needed to change the entire costume, obviously, but it needed to be the exact same costume.
Oh my god.
Just gray.
Right.
Her hair needed to be gray. Her entire makeup, face went gray.
Oh my gosh.
Lipstick, everything was different shades of gray.
Right.
Yeah, it became an assembly line backstage from what I heard, because I was always up watching everything, but we had that down so smoothly with an amazing makeup artist. And yeah, Laura was the makeup artist for that, and
she's great.
She's so lovely. And then we had other cast members helping Riley
as you
change
would.
out of her costume and get everything done and spraying her hair. It was amazing.
I haven't seen the show live, and I also I didn't know about the company or you guys at that time, so I haven't seen. But
this was just a few months before we met.
Yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, from the pictures that I've seen, that it looks so good. I'm just I can't believe they did that in 10 minutes. That's crazy. And in general, 10 minutes is not a long time for a costume change in theater, but to do that.
Well, I've done quick changes. Normally when you say a quick change, it's
that's true.
You have 30 seconds to a minute, something like that. It's quick.
Yeah.
This was
everything.
Quick change with completely everything.
Oh my
That's
God.
why I call it a quick change, because it needed to go rapid fire.
Right, but even then, I feel people you think 10 minutes is a long time, but when you're back there and things are happening, it goes by so quickly. Even if you're not like doing a full, body makeup change. That's crazy. And then I think when we met, we did a show with a different company, Bar in the Park.
Yes.
And then you guys were doing King Lear next, and I was like, I want to be in it. And so that happened. That was probably like one of my... Actually, that's not true. I wouldn't say my favorite character, but one of my favorite characters to play.
I
played Edgar. It was good.
I absolutely love King Lear.
Mel's very ambitious, if you can't tell, because I don't know if you guys have ever been to the place we perform at, the Gas, Gerard Art Space. King Lear has like 14 cast members, and that's after the cut downs.
Yes, I cut everything down. We doubled up the casting, and
where they could be doubled up.
I think that I got it down to like 13 people. Were there 14?
I think it was 14, including me.
Without checking, we'll just like...
Yeah, it's 13 or 14, because I remember the very first scene, everyone was on stage except me. And I think it was 13 people.
Yeah, we had a lot of people on stage. There was one instance where every single person pretty much had to be on there.
Yeah, except me. Yeah. So... $13. Okay, you're right. But yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, that pause was me counting the cast members.
Yes, I was like, Wally's counting. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The space is very small. It's an intimate space. If you're in the front row of the audience, you are literally...
in the show, basically.
Like, depending on the comfort level of the actors, which that has gotten more and more, like...
more...
I don't even know. It's got... People who have done shows have gotten more comfortable as they've gone on.
If they've done multiple shows, yeah, for sure.
So I would say that anywhere between 6 inches to a foot is how close you are to the actors if you are in the front row of that stage.
And King Lear was a fun one because, especially with me, I had to bark at someone.
Yes.
During one of the scenes. Because my character basically goes crazy or pretends to go crazy to hide from his father's wrath. Well, what he assumes is his father's wrath. Because his evil brother tells him that his father's going to kill him. Spoiler alert, if you guys... King Lear is very old, so if you haven't read it,
it was great. We had sword fights and like special effects and everything thrown in there.
It was a great show.
It was a lot of fun. I am so fortunate for the amazing people that I was able to get for that show. The actors were incredible and like so lovely to work with, as were like the fight choreographers, like just like the
whole crew and cast,
crew. And again, we had like the makeup artist, same as the one for Blithe Spirit, Laura, because she's amazing. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to like dream up the costumes for that too. It was that was cool because we did it.
We didn't go Shakespearean with it.
No, we went in like a post-apocalyptic, sort of edge to it. So
lots of blacks and silvers and
like leather, torn studs and like chain.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Stuff. We did DIY to a lot of stuff.
And then the women, when they kind of like gained power towards the end, they got sort of like a tribal almost kind of like makeup going on. So it was really cool. It was fun to come up with the design element for the costumes and then work with Laura with the makeup as well to kind of make that all come to life, and then like get the hair for everybody going too. It was a lot of fun.
That was like when I first became involved. It basically became involved right away with everything because I love hair and makeup and all that, like costumes and everything as well. That sweater, I think you still have it. It's one of my favorite pieces from that show.
I have a few.
I think we have all a lot of the costumes from a lot of shows we have.
I have all of the costumes from that, but specifically like what you're talking about, one of the sweaters
that I wore,
that Wally wore, has made it into my wardrobe,
Yeah.
as has the
the pants, one of those pants, yeah.
the pants that Madeline wore as Cordelia.
Yep. And
they both made it into my wardrobe.
Didn't she also take the men's jeans?
Yes.
The ripped men's jeans?
I have the ripped men's jeans.
Those were all great pieces. But
yeah, those were Paul's.
Yeah, the jeans were Paul's.
Those were Paul's.
Well, his characters, he didn't.
Yeah.
But no, my sweater was a fun piece because we bought it, I think, at a thrift store, but then we DIY'd it with zippers and studs.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. And we cut the sleeves, like triangular.
Uh-huh.
I think you've worn it outside before. I've worn it a couple times as well.
A bunch of people have worn that.
It's a nice piece. If you ever want to borrow a fun sweater.
It's really, it's cozy.
It is.
And you wouldn't think that it is because it has, like, the
Studs
zippers
and
like, studs all over it. But it is really, really cozy, and it's, like, bigger.
It was fun because I think I
Yeah.
went from, like, being so covered up to, like, nothing in that show. So I was wearing this sweater and then jeans, I think, or pants.
Yep.
And then I went to basically a post-apocalyptic loincloth.
Yes. Yeah, and then you got dressed again.
Yeah. Oh, and then it was the white knight with the
Yeah.
woman's, like, bodysuit that has blood on it still.
Yes. Yeah, Wally got stabbed just a little bit.
During the very
It's
last
fine,
show.
though.
Every other show was fine until the last show. And I don't know, like...
It's usually the way that it happens.
And I don't know exactly what happened. Like, I think I either took the jump 1 second too late, like jumping backwards, or Andrew, I think, like, either did the move 1 second too quickly. Like, something happened, and I got stabbed on my white bodysuit, and it was hilarious. Yeah, that was a fun show.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
What is one of your other favorite shows? What shows have you been in yourself that you like?
I like every show that I have been in. I like the ones that I planned on being in. I specifically chose those ones because I
wanted to be in them.
Wanted to be in them.
That makes sense.
Which is a great thing about having your own company.
Right.
You can be like, I really want to be in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just need to figure out like all the logistics of making that happen.
Right.
So, yeah, it works.
One of my favorites that you've been in is probably Closer.
Yes. Closer was, I love Closer.
Because, yeah, you did it. I mean, everyone was amazing, but specifically you, I think.
Aww.
And that was the first time that I had really seen you act outside of Love's Labour's Lost.
Yes,
'Cause-
Love Labour's Lost was the show where Wally and I met that we did
Right.
with Bard in the Park, which is another amazing company, and I love everybody in that company.
Yeah, same.
Like, oh my god.
But yeah, so outside of that, I hadn't really seen you act because, even with that, I was on stage with you for a lot of it, so I didn't really see you too much. But when I saw you in that, I was like, this is like, I was like, Julia Roberts who? No, not Julia Roberts who?
No, Julia.
It is Julia.
I played the role that Julia Roberts played in the movie.
But yeah, like that was really good. That was amazing. I think that
Thank you.
was.
It was
Yeah.
fun. I really enjoyed that, and the two actors that I got to play with,
Mm-hmm.
Sean and Brian, like,
We're also amazing.
love them to death. They were
Yeah.
so much fun to work with. And it's just like the kind of thing where you want to be, like, I want to work with them again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so badly.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to really work with them because I wasn't on stage with them at all. But I was at a couple rehearsals and I did your makeup and hair for that, so that was fun. And I got to meet everyone. Any shows that you've done outside of M&P that you really like?
Outside of M&P,
That you've been in?
that I have been in, I absolutely, like, pretty much, I don't really sign on to do shows unless I am excited about them.
Right. But I mean, there's times where, like, depending on things, that can kind of die down. Like, this excitement can die down.
Yes. I really, really loved being in Arsenic and Old Lace.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun to be a part of. I like the story. I would love to do it again. I do actually. I'm planning on doing that for one of the radio dramas. So
Ooh.
like slightly different because it's not going to be acted out. Like I would love to act it out.
Right.
Again.
Are you going to be in it too this time?
No, I think that I would probably
Direct it?
direct.
Okay.
And then if I were to do it again, I would wait like years so that I could play one of the
Older
aunts.
character? Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I need to be like older.
Okay.
Like probably like 50 or 60.
Oh, okay.
Before I can
So at least another 10,
those.
20 years.
10 years, Wally.
What?
I'm not going to be old enough to play it in 10 years.
You said 50.
Yeah. I'm
You're not going to be 50
I didn't
in 10
mean, like, first of all, I'm not going to be 50 in 10 years.
Okay, 11 years.
I'm not going to be 50 in 11 years.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're 39.
No, I'm not.
You're 38. 12 years.
Like,
Sorry.
Not that we're arguing about that much of a difference, but still. Hey, Wally.
Hi.
Have you caught up with all of the M&P podcasts and radio dramas? Oh my god. Seriously? You are the worst.
I work 2 jobs. I'm busy. I film a sex talk show for MNP.
Wally.
What's
in
going on?
This one.
Okay, so I'll listen to just my parts. What is this one about?
So, MMP just finished their 3-episode mini-series.
Oh, Macbeth.
Yes!
Yes, I remember recording this when I was like out of it for like 3 days. Yes, it was fun. I'm excited to listen to them.
It's actually amazing. And if you guys out there listening have not tuned in yet, you should go there right now. Check out the very first 3-part
miniseries
of Macbeth.
Yeah, and also, by the way, Melissa edited them all.
I did for the very first time ever.
So
you should be proud of me.
Big props to her. I'm sure it's going to be amazing once I hear it.
But go and check them out.
On MNP Podcasts, on podcast platforms, and on the Mortar and Pestle Productions YouTube channel.
They're all there. Subscribe, follow, do all of the things, but make sure that you are listening. Get a little bit of culture in your life.
Yes, Shakespeare is important.
And we make it fun.
Yes, and if you don't understand what they're saying, follow along with the spark notes or something.
I'm also very happy that we can now say Macbeth because we're not worried about the curse happening.
Also, not that age really matters that much.
But yeah, I don't think that it's something where as soon as I turn 50, I'm going to be able to play the part. I think that I need to be into my mid-50s, maybe 60. Like, you need to look older. I need to look like I would have a nephew who would be old enough to get married.
Okay. So at least 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like older than that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you could do what the Vampire Diaries does. Just play the character now.
We're not going to do it. I've done that for some shows. Like, it worked, but people commented.
What shows?
When I was in Hamlet, I played Gertrude.
Oh,
so
right.
My son was Hamlet, and it was just, people were coming up and being like, oh, this is the first show where I've seen a Gertrude that looks younger than her son. And I was like,
Who played Hamlet?
I'm 10 years older than him.
Who played Hamlet?
James.
Oh, solo choreographer?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But, like, I'm 10 years older than him.
I feel like you could get away with it with radio, especially, if you just if you wanted to play that character.
No, but I've already played Elaine.
Yeah.
And, yeah, maybe maybe I understand what you're saying.
Because it's easier to change your voice. I played like an 8-year-old in the last show you put me in. So.
Yeah. But I mean, there's not much of a difference between like a 50-year-old or 60-year-old's voice and like my voice.
I guess maybe that's true.
No, like there really isn't.
Sometimes they like, I guess like become a little more like, what's it called? Vibration-y? I don't know if the correct word for that is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe, Wally. But I think that I personally think that happens like a little bit later, where like a voice starts to change
that much. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know. I'm thinking about all the people that I know that are around like 60.
Yeah.
And their voices,
aren't like
as far as I can remember, have remained the same the entire time that I've known them. So.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, obviously different for going from like a really young person to like me, how old I am now. I'm sure my voice will change even more later on, but when I was like 5 years ago, my voice was a lot higher. It's still pretty high, but it has like a low undertone.
I don't remember your voice being any higher. Your voice sounds the same to me.
Well, I'm sure if you watched something back from that time, you might notice it. I don't know. I feel like that happened. Like, even watching Friends, for example, like, their voice from the first season versus, like, the last season does change. And they weren't, like, really young. Like, they were young, but they weren't, like, going through puberty. Like, they were, like, 25, and then they were, like, I assume 35-ish around the last season. And their voice has changed a lot. So it can happen.
I don't know if their voices changed, Wally.
I will show you a clip after we're done shooting. Or recording. We're not.
The way that they speak might have changed. I don't know if their voices changed.
Chandler and Joey's voices are definitely higher in the first few seasons.
Okay.
At least from what I've noticed, but I could be completely wrong, and then you could prove me wrong.
Well, also the way that they played the characters could be different.
True. That's true. Anyway, and then I think my next favorite character that I played for you was probably the last in-person show that I did, which was A Party to Murder that I was in, because that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, that's also another show that I almost died in one of the...
So dramatic, but yes, this is the one where he fell over in the wheelchair.
That one was probably worse than the sword, because the sword was like a fake sword.
Well, yeah, but it still stabbed you.
Yeah, but it was like just like a little nick. But that one I could have actually, like, if anything had actually happened wrong, I could have actually gotten really injured. I didn't, thank God. But that was hilarious. That was like a really fun show too, because it involved kind of ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that one is fun because it kind of, again, the pacing was like a key factor in that, especially in certain parts of it. And yeah, it had like a few twists and turns with the plot that made it interesting and a lot of fun for people.
Yeah, the wheelchair was a lot of fun to like have to act with.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't sound rude to people that are differently able.
Well, it's like if you haven't used one, it's like a challenge
it
to
really
kind
was.
of not move your body.
Yeah. Like, not moving my legs at all was really difficult because I'm like a leg shaker and
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware.
But I did pretty good.
You did very
I don't think
well.
during the show I did anything wrong unless, spoiler alert, after I was out of the wheelchair. Potentially I might have done one of my normal quirks, but not in the wheelchair. Even when I fell, I didn't move my legs. Like, I didn't try to get up with them.
How did you get up?
Matt and the others helped me.
Okay.
And then
I didn't watch. Also, my eyes are terrible, so I can't ever see properly.
Yeah, the others helped me, and then like after I got up, I like lifted my legs onto the like little belt that we had, which is what I was like what you had told me to do if my legs weren't on the right place because I can't move them. But that was a lot of fun, and also like having to having to like make sure you're not in people's way, and being able to move it properly.
You got the hang of moving that thing around very quickly. That I was impressed with.
Oh, thanks. That was a lot of fun. The thing I think that from that show that I would need to work on the most is probably dying. I died very weirdly every single time. And I also have this thing where for some reason I just always fall on my knees. And I have bad knees, so I shouldn't. But I do.
Yeah. I know. I
You're
think
like, I'm
that
aware.
I was
You commented
like,
on it.
don't do it.
You're like, don't fall on your knees. Well, you have bad knees.
Yeah, you're going to hurt yourself. Don't do that. Listen to the, like, people that we have in here telling you how to fall properly.
Yeah. We had choreographers.
Yeah.
And I don't think I listened to them.
Yeah, we had fake choreographers for that. They were amazing.
They were really amazing.
But, yeah, didn't listen.
I don't know why there was a block in my mind of having to fall on my knees where they're injured anyway, for the most part. That was also the show that I, in real life, almost actually died in.
Yes.
During one of the rehearsals, they were all gonna watch Clue.
Yes.
Because Mel was saying that some of the pacing we wanted to be like inspired by that.
Yes, if anybody has seen the movie Clue.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh. Yeah, some of the parts were
loosely based.
Were
inspired, whatever.
Inspired by the end sequence where Wadsworth is like running around the mansion. And if you haven't seen Clue, you should watch it because it's hilarious.
It really is. It's a really fun.
It's a fun older movie.
Yeah, I would.
Tim Curry.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with Tim.
We should remake it one day, and I want to play the.
I would do that. They have a Clue play.
Do they?
They do.
I want to play one of the girls.
Mrs. Peacock.
Is that the one that I liked?
Probably not. But you would be a good Mrs. Peacock.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll play either, but I think.
You probably like Miss Scarlet.
I think so. She's the quote-unquote slutty one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She's just so funny. But yeah, that was they were watching that, and I was tired, and I had to work the next day, and you were tired, so we were like, let's just go home. So I drove you home, and then I was driving on the way home, and then I almost died.
I was also pretty pregnant.
Oh yes, you were.
In this. About that. Pretty pregnant, which is why I was tired.
Yeah. I was just tired because I used to work too much. I mean, I still sometimes do, but.
Yeah. I think I was like.
Differently tired.
It's like 7.5, 8 months pregnant.
Probably.
When I was doing
the show
this.
was.
Well. No, I think that it would be around there because it was in October that we went up. So yeah. I think it was a month or so before that when they were watching Clue. Yeah, because the show that followed that, I was supposed to be directing on the Tuesday because I had a C-section. I was supposed to be directing on the Tuesday, one of the final rehearsals before we broke for Christmas break. And I had to like message everybody and just be like, so I'm not going to be there because I am in the hospital.
I'm having a baby.
And here is like the baby.
And here's what you guys need to do tonight at rehearsal.
Like on the Tuesday morning. Yeah.
That was also a fun show.
Hi guys. It was. That one was fun.
I wasn't in that one. I think that was...
Wally and Megan directed that for me when I was not able to be there because of baby.
Yeah.
The baby. But I was still back after the Christmas break.
Mel's also a workaholic.
I was like not even a month.
Yeah. She also like...
it's like, I'm fine. I'll go back.
And I think she like sometimes has a thing where if it's her thing, she has to make sure it's getting done right, which I completely agree with. I'm the same way. So I need to make sure that things are getting. So I don't blame you
right.
at all. But yeah, that was a fun show. I I think one of the main scenes that I really directed was probably the makeout scene.
Yes, Molly. Yes.
Or helped with directing. That was fun because I don't know, I like to make things look believable in that sense. It's like you gotta make sure that people believe that you're actually making out.
Yes.
Which they were, but sometimes it can still look awkward.
Yes, it can look very awkward.
And you don't want that. Unless it's meant to be
No.
awkward.
No. This one was supposed to be funny, so that didn't really matter if it looked like amazing.
No.
But
still believable.
yes.
And then I think
It's more about chemistry. You
Yeah.
want if they're supposed to be making out and it's supposed to be believable, you want to make sure the actors have chemistry.
Right.
Because if that's not there, then
And there's been
it's
times
screwed.
when like you see something and you're just like, this just looks like nothing. It just looks like a wall and a piece of wood attached together. Like it doesn't look believable at all, and it doesn't look good. I think that's a good analogy for that. When people aren't like don't have any chemistry.
I would say that the thing that looks awkward, and I have seen this before, is when one or both of the actors doesn't want to do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just like not.
Mm-hmm.
And then it makes the other person uncomfortable to try and do anything.
Right.
So then both people are just like sitting very rigid
Mm-hmm.
and like not doing anything, and you're just like, oh my god.
See, and the
This
thing with
is
me,
terrible. Like, just go for it in some kind of way. If you don't actually want to like kiss or
Right.
something, there are ways around that, but you need to get close to the person.
yeah, and there's ways to like make it look still sensual and have lots of chemistry without actually touching each other's mouths.
Yes.
And you can still make it like I think I heard this on a TV show where it's like sometimes the moment before the actual kiss is like so important. So if you have that moment and don't actually ever touch lips, then that could be amazing. If you were to actually do it.
If that's what's right for the show.
Right. But if the person doesn't want to actually kiss at all or anything, then you have to do something to make it look like there's some chemistry. And I think some people struggle with that.
That you need to just like stage it properly so that it's hidden, that they're not actually kissing.
Right. And not just standing in front of one another.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone out there that has children, you are in luck.
What's happening? I don't have a child personally, but I live with a child.
Well, M&P is starting the content for the children's theater.
Oh my god, that's so exciting.
Yes, we are going to be starting it off with a fairy tale theater piece called
What's it called?
New Traditions.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
Great. It is. It has princes and princesses, dragons.
That's exciting. Kids love dragons.
I know, especially mine.
Yes, they do.
And a new tradition, which I won't spoil for you.
Ooh, that sounds mysterious. It makes me want to tune in.
It's going to be great. We're also going to be coming in with more story times
Mm-hmm.
and a special circle time where we will be singing songs
Yes.
and reading short stories
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
for
So
all
you should tune
of
in.
your littlest kids out there.
All the teeny weeny ones. And for the little kid inside of you.
So all of these will be video so that your kids have something to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to share it all with you.
It's going to be so fun. We're excited. So please tune in.
I'm extremely excited. Oh, and I have a special treat. We are also going to be introducing a mini Shakespeare.
Ooh.
I know
sounds
how
fun.
difficult it can be to have kids get into Shakespeare. Well, teens get into Shakespeare. So we are going to be introducing it in a fun and easy way.
To digest?
Yeah.
That's fun. So please follow the MNP YouTube channel, as these will all be in video form.
Yes, they
so
will.
You need to make sure that you're subscribed and that you keep your eye out for that.
We can't wait to have you.
Yes.
Right? And all of your little ones. There's something for everybody on MMP.
What's been your favorite show to direct for MNP, do you think?
Ooh, like, probably a lot. Like, for different reasons.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved directing Blithe Spirit because it was the first one. So that entire experience was kind of like nerve-wracking and exciting. And I was learning the entire time. I'd never directed before that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I'd never done any of this stuff before.
Well, I knew you hadn't, like, obviously, this was your first, like, company, but I thought maybe you had directed something for Bard.
No, I had done costumes and stuff, but I hadn't ever directed anything.
That's
so
amazing.
I was just, like, jumping in with, like, hey, this is my company. Hey, like
Mel's just amazing at everything, basically, is what she's saying.
This is how I'm figuring it all out. I am not amazing at anything. I'm, like, mediocre at best at a bunch of things.
I don't agree with that. I think you're an amazing actress or an actor, and you're an amazing director.
You can call me an actress. I don't care.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Might care.
I don't.
The people
yeah,
listening.
but you're talking to me.
That's true. Yeah. So I think I don't like. That's crazy that was your first show because, like, your second one that means was King Lear, and I did not feel that at all. Like, I felt like you were so natural and so good.
That was fun to try it as your second show, to try and direct like
13 people.
And like arrange everything for them. 39 Steps was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To direct.
That one's also another difficult one.
It was.
So you just love all the ambitious ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like a challenge. That one was fun just because of the physicality of it, and how like fast paced everything was. So a lot of fun. Also, the actors in it were great. Oh my god, I miss everybody.
It was a fun cast.
I miss everybody. Aw. Rope was also fun to direct. That I think the cast just had like great chemistry, so
I agree.
It was like pretty easy.
In a sense, yeah, I was gonna say easy too.
It was easy to get everybody going.
Yeah.
And it had like a good baseline of camaraderie, which you kind of needed in
that kind of a show. Yeah.
In that show, it was difficult when everybody would like go off and like joke around and like,
which happened a lot.
Yeah. And that was probably the show where I had the most noise complaints during rehearsals.
Oh, okay.
So I was also pregnant during that show. Like even more so than with the other one. That one I was like 8 to 8.5 months there. Like I think after the show finished, it was like 2 weeks or less. And
really?
Then I gave birth, yeah.
Because weren't you in that one while you were pregnant?
No, I had just given birth.
Oh, okay. I thought you were pregnant.
Yeah, that one.
We won't talk about right now.
That one was fun. Wally, he's pointing to a
show poster.
A show poster.
We'll talk about that another day.
It was a fun one. Let me just say, so many people I know, if you have ever been pregnant, what you really want to do when you are less than 2 months postpartum is get up in front of a crowd of people and act with 1 week to prepare and memorize your lines, or try to. Super fun. The last place I wanted to be was up on stage.
No,
it was a lot of fun. Like,
I believe you, and I don't.
It was a lot
disagree.
of fun. No, actually, like, being in the show was a lot of fun. I got to act against Kyle, who it had been a while since I had gotten to act with him, and it was a good time.
There's a tiny poem there.
But
but yeah, no, yeah.
You don't want to be up on stage.
But even that's another reason why I think you're so good, because you could not tell, like, if it wasn't for you having the book in hand, you could not tell that you hadn't been doing that. Because you're just so natural and good and talented.
Oh my god.
It's not even like me trying to build you up or anything. That's just the truth of the situation.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, Rope was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I feel like other than King Lear, the other two characters I've played with this company have been really funny, but like challenging in different ways, but also simpler, which is maybe why I thought King Lear was like, I guess, better acted in my, because I also feel like I'm better in drama. But other than King Lear, I've only been cast in comedies. But yeah, those both characters are similar but also very different, like Rope and not Exit. Oh my god, what's the show called? Brain fart. Party to Murder. Because they were both like, like, it was funny because they were both like being made fun of the whole time for different reasons, and I got to eat a lot in both shows.
Yep.
Which was also part of the comedy.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, one of my... Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna ask, was it Rope or Party to Murder where like I did basically a spit take? I think it was Rope where like I was talking with my mouth really full, and there's like food just coming out of my
Yes, that was in Rope. Speaking of eating, though.
Yes.
One of my personal favorites, and this was one of the other ones where it was just so much fun to direct.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think I saw it 3 times.
Oh, it was so good. Breaking Legs is the show that we are talking about. So much fun to direct that. The cast was absolutely amazing. There was so much eating. There was so much food in that. It's basically like a mob who are backing a playwright to get his first show up and running, like off Broadway.
Right. Was that how you got started?
How I got started?
With your company?
off Broadway, yes.
No,
course.
I meant with the mob, and they backed you up.
Yeah, I have a ton of money. I am backed by the mob.
Oh gosh, we'd have way bigger productions if we were.
Oh my god, yes. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Again, that was another one where the cast had great chemistry, and that was like vital.
Yeah. For that show, for sure.
For that show. They basically needed to act like an Italian family who just are like around each other
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like the last 40 years.
Right.
So it was basically like a struggle in the beginning to be like, these are the marks that I want you to hit. This is when I want you to hit it. In between these times, if you run out of like a drink, if you want more food, if like you feel like you want to get up, as long as you are not getting in the way or blocking anybody, you may go and do that.
Right.
Because they needed to like move around freely so that the space came alive and so that it felt like this familiar place for them. Right.
And also it's not just 4 people sitting down eating the whole time.
Exactly. But yeah, oh my god, one of the guys who I went to high school with him, his name is Andrew, and he and I just like randomly ran into each other and we got talking. He's one of the nicest people that you're ever gonna meet.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
In your
I've met
life.
him.
So he was in the show and he played this part where he didn't have the most speaking lines, but he was honestly one of the funniest guys in the show, just because of his physicality
And delivery.
Yeah, well, I mean, during rehearsal one time, he actually was wearing a suit that had a fork in it.
Oh my god.
In the pocket, so he pulled it out of
god.
his pocket to come and start eating a meatball, and I was like, oh my god, we are keeping that.
That wasn't planned?
No, and I was like, this is hilarious. You need to make sure that you
that
have
stays in.
that.
That's so funny.
Oh, but yeah, it was it was awesome, and we had a bottle of whiskey for the writer, and the actual bottle of whiskey that I had was labeled Writer's Tears.
Oh my god. I remember that whiskey.
And so we had to always make sure that was placed out to the audience, so it was a little
hint if anyone saw it, yeah.
Yeah, a little grab if anybody
What do they
noticed.
call it? Egg hunt or whatever?
Easter egg.
Easter egg, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel with comedies, little things like that happen during rehearsal is kind of a lot of times what makes the show.
Well, that one I planned.
No, I mean the fork thing and everything.
Yes.
Obviously, I think it's hard to direct comedy because if the person doesn't necessarily do it correctly or in the right way, then what you think is funny might not actually come out funny or turn out funny.
And then with that show also, I gave them free reign to ad-lib as much as they wanted. It got taken a little bit farther than what I had originally intended, but it worked so well because of the chemistry that they had.
Right.
So, I'm not complaining at all. I think that it was some of the best stuff. Actually, they would replace their lines. Not completely, but they would interchange names.
Yes, I remember Kyle doing that with. He added my name in one of the shows.
But Kyle and Craig, they volleyed or bandied off of each other with a Tina Turner reference.
Oh gosh.
And everything needed to be period appropriate. So, yeah, that was fine. They went on for I think 10 lines about Tina Turner, just throwing back different putting in the song titles.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's so funny.
And all of it was accurate for the time period that we were doing.
That would have just gone over my head.
No, it was great. Yeah, so it was it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was so smart of them too to be able to, the show itself. If you look at it as a piece, it's not an intellectual play. It's a crass show.
Yeah.
There's nothing sophisticated about it.
No, not at all.
But the level of experience and professionalism and just intelligence that the actors needed to have to be able to pull off that show was so much more than a show that would be considered of a higher level.
Right. Yeah, I think that might be why I don't think that I'm the best in comedy, because I don't feel I'm funny when I'm acting, which maybe I'm wrong because I get cast in comedies all the time. I feel I'm only I guess funny when I'm just making a joke off the cusp in real life, but I don't I feel I think too much when I'm acting in a comedy, and then I have to just throw that away which I have done, I guess, successfully in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, no, that show was probably one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah. I was literally crying, laughing every single day.
And like, and I was like, oh, this looks like so much fun, but I was like, none of these characters would be right for me to play at all. So I wasn't even upset that I wasn't in it because it just like, was so fun to watch. I was like, I'm glad I'm not in it so I can see it.
Yeah. And with the 80s costumes.
Oh my god, that tracksuit.
Yeah.
Is one of
we did tracksuits.
My favorite pieces that we have in our costumes department.
Yeah. We have two really great tracksuits.
What's that?
From that. We have the green one and the red one.
Oh, right. The green one just speaks to me for some reason, which is funny because red is my favorite color. But that green one was the one that Craig was wearing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Who was wearing the red one? Kyle?
Kyle.
Yeah.
And the best thing.
Oh my god,
Kyle's commitment to my whims.
Mm-hmm. Which happens often with his.
Oh, I love him. He's so wonderful. For this role, Kyle gave himself an interesting haircut. He gave himself, I don't know what to call it. I was like, would you mind giving yourself like a Captain Picard, Kyle? So basically he shaved the top clean and left hair
on the sides
around, like he had the horseshoe.
Right.
There we go.
I feel like if at that point I would just shave my whole head if that were to happen to me. I couldn't deal with that. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, Kyle is very committed.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
And it like really pulled the character together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
What else have you made him? Oh, you made him wax his whole body basically for a role.
Well, he didn't wax. He nared it.
Yeah.
We nared him.
And then for a different show, we dyed his hair. Which he looked so good with dark hair.
Yeah, we dyed it darker. He looked amazing.
We dyed his beard and his eyebrows and his
head. Because he actually has a full head of hair. It's not a horseshoe. Nowhere near a horseshoe. But yeah, he's great. Mm-hmm. He always does that stuff. We've also permed somebody's hair. Not for Mortar and Pestle,
for Bard.
But for Bard when we did Love's Labor's Lost.
That was fun.
We permed an actor and one of the founding members, Sean. We permed his hair. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
That was really fun. I remember I was like, you might lose your hair by the end of this.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've bleached my hair, and then I've also had to, for Love's Labor's Lost, Wally.
Oh my god. Yeah, the hell out of it.
Teased my hair into like this huge, like
afro
like style.
If you haven't seen those pictures, those are amazing.
Enormous, and it took a long time for my hair to recover.
I think,
it was so much fun.
You told me that you wanted to get bigger every show, and I was like, I will make that happen.
I meant it. I wanted it to.
It was a process,
I wanted to go for it, because like, why do it if you're not going to go for it?
No, it was definitely and I don't think that would have worked if we didn't go full out.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, like it kind of got flatter and flatter because of the weather and all that. But yeah, whenever we started, the show was amazing, and it was a process though because you had to at work put in like those, what are those called, the
hot rollers.
The hot rollers, and then you had them on for like what, 2 hours probably or more.
Yeah.
And then I took those out individually, teased the hell out of them.
Yep.
Hairsprayed each individual like part of hair roll, and then that took probably I would say at least 40 minutes each time we did it. But that was so fun.
Yeah.
I love doing hair and makeup and all that, so that was a lot of fun for me to make happen. I think the craziest thing I've done is like dye my hair and get a buzz cut.
Yep.
Which the buzz cut was probably a stretch for me because I don't like buzz cuts at all myself.
Yes.
And that was the first show with King Lear. You made me grow out my beard, which I don't really ever have at all either, because I needed to look older. Yeah,
I made all of the men have facial hair, except for
like my word in the show had like it was like kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow. It wasn't really.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because he had to look younger than me. Except for who else?
Like
My dad. I don't remember him having facial hair, but I could be wrong.
I think he had a little bit.
Like a 5 o'clock shadow or something.
Yeah. But the other, I'll just say the other one. Not that I didn't direct this one, but the one that I really enjoyed being in was Drowning Girls.
Oh yeah.
Drowning Girls.
That was a great show.
Every time I think about it, I just like smile, and I want to do it again so badly. I just want to remount it. Oh,
it was a really good show.
The Drowning Girls is amazing.
Would you do it with the same cast?
I would, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think our cast was.
No, the cast was
great.
amazing, but I would like. It would be fun to also see other people try, but it might not be as good, or it would be hard.
I don't know. I think it's been like a couple of years now, and I think it would be fun to get everybody back and do that one again.
I agree. That was a really good show.
It was a lot of fun. Such a horrifying story.
Yeah.
It's based, for anybody that doesn't know, The Drowning Girls is based on like a real life serial killer. And the case itself was one of the very first stepping stones to modern day forensic science, I guess.
In like determining murders and all that. Yeah. Which is what forensic science is.
Well, forensic science, like forensics it covers a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they had somebody come in and like analyze and study how it was that these murders could have been committed. And yeah, that was the first time that had happened. So it was crazy.
Yeah, it was a really good show, and I hadn't heard of the cases before until you guys told me about it. But it was a crazy story. Were they the only 3 victims, or was there more that they didn't focus on?
He was married to more women,
but he didn't murder anyone?
I think only the 3 died. I could be wrong. There could be another one.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
But if any of you are interested, if you look up and like just Google George Joseph Smith, and when you see like bathtub murders, that's him.
Yeah.
He drowned all of his victims in the bathtub in a way that made it look like nothing had happened. He took all of their money. And he also played the creepy ass song from the Titanic drowning, the Nearer My God to Thee. Yeah, he played that when he did it.
So messed up. And he I think one of the biggest reasons it took them so long to figure it out was because he kept using different aliases, right?
Yes. Yeah, he always changed his name, not by a lot.
Yeah.
Or anything, but this was back in 1910.
Right.
So he was moving all over the States and stuff and marrying different women, and he would get them to sign over their wills and power of attorney, everything. And then the one wife, his last one before he got caught, she died the day after they got married.
Wow. Was that your character?
That was my character. Yeah. But yeah, oh my god, that one was so much fun to do.
It really
sounds
was.
terrible, it is a terrible story.
No, it is, but I think sometimes those make the best shows.
It was a lot of fun to do. We laughed a lot. There are 3 women in it, the 3 victims who were drowned, the wives. And they play all the different characters reenacting everything that happened leading up to the marriage and their murders.
Yeah, it was
and
really
then
cool.
even the trial at the end.
Right. Yeah, it was a really, it's a really cool way of doing the play. I don't think it would work as well if it was done another way, but who knows? Maybe it would if it was written another way.
And you need to keep track of where all the props are, because different people, they all interchange among everybody, and you need to make sure that they're where they're supposed to be, because otherwise you're screwed, because you never leave the stage. You never leave the stage.
Once you're on stage, you're on stage.
Yeah.
Even during intermission, weren't you guys still on stage? Or did you leave?
We didn't have an intermission. There was no chance.
Oh, there wasn't, right? Because it wouldn't have made sense for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It was just a straight through thing. It wasn't as long because it didn't have an intermission. It wasn't as long as some of the other shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just once you were on there, you were on.
Mm-hmm.
I also was super, super smart when I was planning the season out that we did this in, and I decided that we were going to do the show in the winter, as our middle show.
So you were cold?
Yeah, you have to be soaking wet because you come out of a bathtub where you were drowned. So yeah, we were all soaking wet in corsets.
And wedding dresses.
And yeah, and it was the middle of winter.
Hey, we gotta do it for the art.
I wouldn't change anything, but I could have planned that a little bit better.
Yeah, it was such a good show. That one I don't think I was there at all for rehearsals really, except for the last few where I took pictures. Mm-hmm. And then, I was there. Was I there for every show in the back? I can't remember. I think I was.
I think you were, because I couldn't be.
Well, yeah.
But I think that you were, and if you weren't able to do one, we arranged for somebody else to take over.
Yeah, I think there was only one that I couldn't be at, which I think we made work, obviously. But yeah, I was there for pretty much every single show, and every single time it was great, and every single time I cried, which may or may not be saying a lot because I'm a Pisces and I cry way too much sometimes. But it was still worth it, and I think just because I cry a lot doesn't necessarily mean that it's not real emotions. People discount it. I'm well, I still feel something while I'm watching this. So I know. Anyway, that's besides the point. I think that would be probably a really good show to bring back.
Oh my god, I would love to.
Mel, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah, sure. You can ask me whatever you want. You know that.
This has been bugging me for a really, really long time. Does size matter?
You know who would be perfect for answering that? She's been with way more people than me. Jacqueline.
Oh, you mean that wannabe drag queen that hosts sex trades?
Yeah. Sex trades with Jacqueline of all trades.
Oh, okay. Well, what if I don't want to tell the whole world my name?
Just use an alias or tell her that it's from Anonymous.
I guess I'll DM her on Instagram at Jacqueline O.T, JACKELYNNE.O.T.
You know, you could also email her at mandpafterdark@gmail.com. mandpafterdark@gmail.com.
Thanks, Mel.
No problem.
I really want to I want to be in a drama the next time we do a thing. Because I miss drama.
Yeah.
I don't want drama in real life, but I want to act in dramas.
Sure, Wally, sure.
What?
But yeah, with Danielle, she played the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing Margaret, one of the wives, and I couldn't stop laughing. it was just like
hypnotized.
So the way that Danielle just like looked at me and delivered the lines out of nowhere, it gave this like, this is why I think it's perfect and I wouldn't change the casting. It gave like a comedic element to it in like this one scene. So every once in a while, all of this tension and like
Got relieved.
Yeah, like all of this horrifying stuff that happened to these women was broken a little bit because of the way that you can play
right
some of the other characters, and I think that it worked really well.
I think that was also like, even though it was kind of like comedic or whatever, it was still really creepy because of like just what was going on. Like back then especially, it still happens to this day, which is completely messed up, but like people never took women seriously.
Oh yeah.
Doctors especially with like what they were feeling and what like their symptoms.
Yeah, it was basically like the whole hysteria, like you're a hysterical woman type of thing. Yeah. Now people don't necessarily say that you're hysterical, but
they just don't believe you.
Yeah, women need to definitely advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
A lot.
Which men don't.
Yeah.
For the most
part. Men, if they say that something's wrong, they'll get a test done. If women say something is wrong, then usually it's just like, oh, it's fine, you're overreacting. And nothing gets done, which is why, like, a lot of really terrible diseases and stuff get diagnosed
too late.
Way later for women than they do for men.
Yeah. But yeah, those were all really good shows, and I mean, obviously, everything we've done has been great in some way, shape, or form. But those, I think, were good standouts.
Yes.
And I think there's like I've been like even right now trying to look for stuff that we could potentially do in the future, which I'm like right now, who knows?
So many lists.
Right, and it's like who knows what the future entails right now anyway. But when we're able to do, and I think it's going to be so exciting and so fun. So please keep your eye out for everything that we do, and keep listening to our online content and watching our online content until then. And
I mean, like until we're able to, even after we're able to go back
try to keep this going,
the theater and be in front of everybody again. I kind of am enjoying this. It's
a
fun
same.
thing to do to kind of have extra.
Yeah.
Output and get out there and like have something else for you guys to listen to.
And yeah, because even with the shows, it's like 3 shows a year usually, and
yeah, it's also nice to be able to like connect with cast members, because you know how you miss people, and you have
course.
like the after show like depression,
after show blues.
Yeah.
No, and that's a real thing. Like it's
because you're around everybody and you're having fun, and then it's just over, and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with myself?
Right, and it's also like sometimes you like play a character, and you like kind of feel like you put so much work into it, and then it's just done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I just did all this, and it wasn't for nothing. But now it's like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
And then it's like if you don't have anything else lined up, it kind of feels really sad.
One thing that I would love to do, I think that we should do this, Wally, is try to get some of the people from the shows. From, like, past shows, and we could like just talk to all of them.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be a ton of fun to do.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Yay! We talked about a lot of fun stuff and fun shows we did. Yeah, we'll talk about that one other show another time. That could probably be an episode of its own at a whole other time, which would be or we just don't talk about it.
We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. He's talking about No Exit.
Which
it's a story.
It was also like felt like there was no exit at some point. It's just like
everything ended up being really great, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But another honorable mention, because I feel like we've talked about like pretty much every show. Damne Manon Sacré Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
We did that 2-hander. The actors both were amazing. We had Riley and Kyle in that. Kyle really gave it his all. Riley, as always, was amazing. So yeah, just like subject matter wise, it doesn't make like my top.
Right.
But
that's fair.
But yeah, love it. Like, I absolutely loved like the performances that they gave.
If we're gonna,
it was like acting.
Yes, it was. I would say another shout out to Death of an Artist as well.
Yes.
That was our fundraiser that we did.
Yes, which I would love to do another fundraiser too.
It'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, that was a cool, because Kyle wrote that show.
Yes.
And then planned with his coworkers a whole menu and everything to go along with each act.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Riley and I actually, we worked together with Kyle and the chefs to create a menu that went along with the story. So the food was like telling the story along with the show,
which is amazing.
It was great. I would love to do something like that again.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to be a part of, because we both were in it as well.
We were.
And also like we're helping run it. Well, you did more of the work, but I was there.
Yeah. Oh.
It was fun. We should definitely do that again when we're able to.
I would say maybe we could do that in the spring.
The fundraiser?
Yeah, we could do that in like the spring or like early summer next year. I'm gonna just go out and say that we're gonna do that because that
put
would
it
be
into the universe.
Put it out there in the universe. That would be a fun thing to do, and I think that being able to do it outside,
that's true.
If things don't improve,
that's true. That could be fun.
That's a safe thing to do. Everybody can still be social distance. They can have a show, and we can do a fundraiser.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen either way.
Making it happen.
Yeah, one way or the other, whether it's inside or outside. Okay, so that is it for this episode. I think I said that 10 minutes ago. But let's do our fun little game.
Okay.
This time Mel was in charge of coming up with stuff. So.
And I thought about this really, really, really hard. Which I mean, I didn't think about anything at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, F, marry, or kill.
Okay. My brain is just going into bad places.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, we're gonna do Mike Myers.
Okay.
Like,
I know who that is.
Like, no, I mean like the serial killer.
Yeah.
Like the.
Yeah. Not the comedian.
Jason.
Okay.
Or Freddy Krueger. There. Horror edition.
Freddy Krueger is the one with the weird face, right?
With the claws.
And the face.
That comes into your dreams.
And the face.
Yes. And the face.
Because Jason has a mask.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, I haven't seen. There's Jason. I haven't seen.
And then, yeah, Michael.
Either of these movies.
That's okay.
So I'm basing it on basically nothing. I would say, oh gosh, I don't want to do anything with Freddy. Because anything with, I feel like would just hurt and wouldn't feel good. So I guess I'm killing him. And then the other two are really hard. But they're both wearing a mask. Jason's isn't as creepy. Like the mask, I don't think is as creepy as Mike's. But then it's like, what's underneath that mask? Okay, so I guess I would marry Jason and have sex with Michael.
Wally looks really disturbed right now.
I am. Because I'm like wondering what would be underneath all that, and I don't know if I want to, be around that. But I think those are my final answers, because I don't think that I definitely couldn't be with Freddy in any of those ways.
No. No, I agree with you there. Freddy's dead.
And yeah, Jason doesn't look as creepy, looks-wise at least, as Mike. So I would rather be around him more so than that. So those are my answers.
Cool.
What about you?
I think that I would F Jason and marry Mike.
Really?
Yeah.
Any specific reasoning behind that?
Well, I feel like Michael just can commit really well.
Okay. That's not a bad reason in general for marriage, so that makes sense. Okay. That was a fun horror edition of the horror things that I don't know, because
my brain.
I think those are, I don't know why you were like being
Oh, my brain went somewhere else, and then I just like looked at the coasters that I made for him, and I was like, okay, let's go this way.
Oh, I see. I wonder where the brain was going in the first place. Anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Follow us on social media. Follow us on Spotify and Anchor, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And
subscribe.
Yeah, follow, show it to your friends, send them all the links, because we need to get more. We need you to support us and give us more viewership and listenership. Because why else would we be doing this?
Just spread the word.
Yeah.
If you like what you hear, spread the word.
And even if you don't, maybe someone else will like it. So spread the word either way.
All right. You guys all have a great night. I'm going to get myself another drink.
Yeah. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.